Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Let's Play of the fan translation of the remake of the sequel to SaGa. We're here in North Pigeon Town where we left off, and we were just about to check out the contents of these shops, so let's do that now. We have first up the item shop, and it appears that unlike in Outset Town, this is purely an item shop, not a combined item armor shop, so they're just selling curative items here. We have 3,000 Kuro at the moment, so this Cure Tome is out of our reach at the moment, which is unfortunate because that would be really nice to have considering that Elodie hasn't learned the Cure spell yet on her own. But yeah, a little short on the cash there, need to double up before we'll be able to buy that, so that's out of the question. I don't think we're going to need anything here. I could go ahead and buy like eye drops or a gold needle here, but I'm just going to play it risky and say that we don't need any of those items. So let's move along and check out the weapon shop over here. Big sword above the door, and it's operated by a goblin here. What's the goblin have? Let's see, we have a Blizzard Tome, and oh, I can see already that everything here is out of our reach. It's all worth 6,800 Kuro, almost 7,000. But we might as well check it out anyway so we know what we're aiming for. There's a Blizzard Tome, a Thunder Tome, a Poison Tome, and a Sacred Prayer Tome. What is Sacred Tome? Okay, it's sort of like a turn undead sort of thing. Also, we have the Submachine Gun. Powerful automatic carbine designed to fire pistol cartridges. It's capable of taking out entire groups of enemies. So this seems like something we definitely want as soon as possible, because the more ways we have of targeting multiple enemies, the better. Right now, only Elodie has that capability, so this is something we're going to want soon. Also, the Rocket Punch, which is a gun also, launches itself at a target at a high rate of speed. Okay, so some guns and some magic tomes here, but like I said, all of it out of our reach for now, just something to keep in mind forever, or for later, rather. We could remember it forever, but that doesn't seem like something that important to remember. Anyway, let's go ahead and leave North Town here, since there's nothing left for us to do there. Now, our ultimate goal will lead us north to Ashura's base, but I said last time that if we didn't run into that person again before leaving the ruins of the ancient gods, that I was going to go back and try to find her again. So I'm going to go ahead and carry that out now. We're going to head back down to the south through the outskirts area here, on our way back down to the ruins of the ancient gods. Running into a group of jaguars here. Gonna go ahead and take those out as quickly as I can. Don't see it being a problem since jaguars have historically not posed much of a threat to us. Kai's gonna go ahead and do nothing because we're not concerned with her stat growth at all, given that she's only with us temporarily. Kai, one of the guest characters. We'll be having her for a little while while we carry out our current mission of taking down Ashura's base. Okay. Elodie just learned a fourth ability, which means that her previous fourth ability, which I believe was her second instance of sleep, has been overwritten with O Poison, which is a passive ability that will make her immune to the poison status effect. So obviously we're happier having that than sleep, but not super happy with it overall. So, and it even reminds us, in exchange, sleep forgotten. But yeah, as I was saying, O Poison, not something that's going to be terribly useful in the long run. So I'm going to go ahead and let that keep its position as the fourth ability so that whenever Elodie does happen to learn her next ability, that'll be the one that's overwritten. I think I'm a little bit more likely to use Sleep than I am to take advantage of O Poison, but that could be incorrect. It's certainly possible that I'm just never going to remember to use Sleep or choose to use Sleep on Elodie's turn, so having something that won't take up Elodie's turn might just be inherently more valuable, so possibly I would rather have O Poison. Actually, you know, I like that line of thought. Let's open the menu. Gotta remember what button opens the menu. And go to Abilities on Elodie, and yeah, let's reverse the positions of Poison and Sleep. I've talked myself into it. I think O Poison, being passive, is more useful than an active ability that we'll never use. Here we have Natsmer gaining some agility, which is good because we've decided that she's going to be a user of agility-based weapons. 99 Kuro, and 17 MP from Calliope for finishing the battle in the first round. At least I continue to presume that that's why Calliope gives us that little bonus. So we're here at the entrance to the ruins of the ancient gods, almost back inside, hoping to run into that person who we met here last time, who I suspect is a muse. And aha, I heard a noise from the west. Yeah, previously when we encountered here, we heard a noise which alerted us to the fact that there was an event on the map, which is right over here. Nice bang symbol there. Oh, where's Mel? Still looking for Mel, huh? Maybe Mel's gonna head home. Okay. Polly gonna try to get home too. That's right. Didn't tell you Polly's name. Polynia. Okay. Gonna give you this, so if you find Mel, tell Polly. So I guess Mel isn't here, but nonetheless, it seems that we've recruited Polly, so that'll be our second muse. She gave us 250 MP straight up, which is pretty nice. If I remember correctly, the threads were, what, 90 each? So that's a couple of additional threads if we ever decide to use those. If Mel isn't home, I'll search again. Alright, well, good luck. See you around. We should really try to find the way back to the Muse's garden so that I can check out Polinia's garden there and see what she bestows her bonus for. I can't imagine that there's a circumstance that would be more valuable to us right now than Calliope's of finishing the battle in the first round, because we do that fairly reliably. But maybe whatever Polly does do, she offers enough MP in excess of what Calliope offers to make it worth it. I would guess that's the case. Like, they probably have harder to meet conditions, the other muses that is, probably have harder to meet conditions than Calliope does, but they offer more MP in exchange. Still, if all that MP gets for us is the threads, then I don't know how useful the MP actually is, if it's something I really need to worry that much about. Alright, so back here at the Northtown outskirts, working our way back up toward Northtown. We still only have 3,345 Kuro, so not nearly enough to buy the submachine gun or any of the other items there that we might want. So I'm going to walk right past the town and head in the direction of Ashura's base. Hopefully it'll lag a little bit less there. I don't know what the problem is today, but my emulator seems to be skipping a few more frames than it did in the past, which is unfortunate. Sorry about that. Alright, so this is a twisty area. I guess we might as well fight enemies here, in case they're different. I don't think that this one is. Nope, just a single robber. This one should go down very quickly. We've seen plenty of these robbers before, and they were never a threat to us in the past, and we've only gotten more powerful since then. Particularly with the addition of those crystal relics that we obtained in the ruins of the ancient gods. Those gave us a huge boost in stats, completely like outweighing whatever bonuses we had acquired naturally up until this point. Speaking of the ruins of the ancient gods, I wonder if while I was there I should have delved a little bit deeper and seen if there was anywhere I could have used that demolish power. See if there were any pillars that I didn't deem suspicious my first time through, but that I might be able to destroy using that, maybe get an item out of. But I think at this point it's probably not worth going back to investigate. But we will keep in mind going forward that if we see any suspicious walls or pillars, that maybe I should try using that demolish power. Zenith's max HP increased. We got some Kuro, a little bit of MP as well. Still gaining Kuro at a pretty slow rate relative to the cost of things at this stage. Reminds me a little bit of, well, I've been saying this a lot, that this game reminds me a lot of Dragon Quest. In the earlier Dragon Quest games, I remember I would always get to new towns, and like, if I could afford a new piece of equipment there, like a new weapon, I could only get one, so I would have to choose like which member of my party would be getting a new weapon that time. And like, if I wanted to get new weapons for everyone, it would mean just grinding for money, not even experience, because leveling up was really, really slow in those games. You just grind for money to get the new equipment each time you got to a new town. And that's kind of something you don't see as much in RPGs these days. It seems like when you get to a new town, you normally, if you've just been playing normally, like you'll normally already have the amount of money you need to buy most of the things there. And I guess that's not terribly new, but like I think about, I don't know, the Lunar games. The Lunar games, I remember money not being a typically big issue. Like you would get to towns and already have most of the equipment there available to you. So it must be just the very early games, or maybe even just the Dragon Quest games, I don't know. But yeah, I kind of miss that. Well, okay, I don't miss grinding, but I miss having to make the choices Like, it's interesting having to prioritize which character gets the upgrade instead of it just being like a process that could really be automated. Like, if it's not really a choice and the player is just like doing it as a chore, it's like, okay, I got to a new town, have to buy all the new equipment, and like you're not actually making any decisions, it's just you're there so you get the equipment. That's a lot less fun because you're not making decisions. It's like playing games is about making decisions. That's what makes games interesting. But in any case, we're here outside of Ashura's base. It seems that if we had come here without Kai, we would not have been able to get past this point. But because we have Kai here, she's going to open the gate for us. We see that glowing animation opening the door. We saw something similar to that in the ruins of the ancient gods. I believe it was the same animation when those people opened the door there. Okay, anyway, we're here in Ashura's base, first floor. Gonna fight this enemy right here, even though it looks like nothing new. Oh, Flyman. Have we seen Flymen so far? I'm not sure if we have. I don't remember. Admittedly, oh yeah, I think we fought these when we were defending Calliope a long time ago, right outside of Outset Town. But yeah, as I was starting to say, I'll admit that this is the first time I played this game in nearly a month. Those first 6 episodes I recorded all pretty much in a row. I went on kind of a binge where I had a lot of free time and I got really into playing this game long enough to record those 6 videos, but then things got really busy and kind of fell to the side. But I'm finally coming back to it, and I'm really happy to be coming back to it because I'm really excited about this game. So this is fun, but it might be a little bit awkward getting back into things, and well, we'll see. But right now, let's look at this. Elodie finally learned Cure, which is what I've been wanting her to learn all along, and we lost sleep for it. So all of that, wait, Polynia just gave us a bonus? Did it automatically switch out Calliope for Polynia, or I presumed that we would only be, crap. I always press the button that opens the power instead of the menu, but oh yeah, alright. As I was saying, I assumed we would only be able to have one muse, like, equipped at a time, but it seems that both either Calliope and Polynia are able to give us bonuses right now, or only Polynia is because she's our newest or something, I don't know. But yeah, okay. Elodie here, we're going to move Cure to the top of the list, putting Poison at the bottom, so that switch we made earlier isn't going to be supremely relevant, because the next time she learns an ability, it's just going to overwrite Poison anyway. So we have Flame on top, Blizzard, Cure, Poison, but the order of the first 3 is mostly irrelevant, because you're never in danger of losing any of those. Alright, and back out here. Here in Ashura's base, that's the entrance we just came in. I assume most of this stuff is just for decoration. It seems like in this game, everything that you can interact with is either the same like blue treasure chest or the red exclamation point. So we can just look for those things. We don't have to go around pressing A on everything to see if there's anything to investigate. We have some Enoki mimics who are mushrooms, and I believe we saw those already at the Ruins of the Ancient Gods. Gonna do nothing with Kai once again. I think we can handle this one on our own. Flame from Elodie should clean up here. And it does, so that battle ends very quickly. Max HP increase for Elodie, and a meat we can't eat, so we'll skip over that. Why is a mushroom dropping meat anyway? Mushrooms don't have meat. That does not make any sense, game. Yeah, I enjoy the speed of the battles in this game. Like, this is very obviously a game optimized for mobile, because everything is so fast. It's like, it's very clear that the developers were intending this to be a game that you could only play for about 20 minutes at a time and still get all of the enjoyment out of it. The battles are quick, NPCs generally only have 1 line of dialogue, there aren't long cutscenes or elaborate mini games. You can get from place to place pretty quickly. Like, the world map isn't tiny, but it only takes a couple of minutes to walk from place to place, particularly if you're avoiding encounters. But if encounters are what you want, you could also find a lot of enemies pretty quickly, if that's what you were going for. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So I talked a lot earlier about the weapon proficiency system, and how I was kind of confused because it wasn't labeled in the menu or anything, but this is our first confirmation that it does actually exist. So Zenith, because he's been using taijutsu attacks, the punch weapon, quite frequently, his taijutsu handling skill has increased, which I believe means that his damage and accuracy with all taijutsu type weapons will be increased from here going forward. And that's just fantastic, because I'm planning on having him use taijutsu weapons exclusively or almost exclusively through the rest of the game. Similarly, we see Natsmer's handling skill go up for Special Blade, which I imagine is just like various fencing weapons and other light swords, probably because she's been using the rapier all along. So that's really good information. I'm glad to see those two growing in that way, and that shows off the thing that's unique to humans. We've seen a lot of Elodie's unique Esper abilities, but to see the human stuff kicking in is cool. 168 Kiro, 13 MP from Polynia. Seems that yes, we are getting bonuses from both Calliope and Polynia. I think there was a Calliope bonus last battle. And one more encounter here. It looks like we have a newt. Yep. No, not a newt. A toad. Looked similar to the newts that I remember fighting earlier in the Ruins of the Ancient Gods, but it was not. Fighting more Inoki mimics and toads. Pretty simple stuff. Still not ramping up in difficulty too terribly fast. I guess I could press X at some point to try out that thread ability, but I'm actually not sure what button X maps to on my controller. I guess I'll just have to press them all and find out whenever I do decide to use that. I might do it during a dramatic boss encounter later. This was the entire floor, right? Just these rooms? I think I can safely go up. I think I've explored everything behind me. We're on Ashura's base, second floor now. Ashura's base was pretty unique in the first game because it had both random and non-random encounters. There were enemies that you could see on the map who were just like wandering around, going about their business, and if you touched any of them, you would get into a fight, very similar to how the fights actually work in this game. But it gave the place a sense of liveliness. Like, the Ruins of the Ancient Gods is the kind of place that should feel abandoned. You shouldn't see things walking around all over the place because, I mean, it's an ancient ruin. But this is a bustling location. Like, there's an active organization here doing things. But okay, so we've got two groups of enemies at once, which means I'm going to be able to capitalize pretty heavily on Elodie's flame skill, hitting all, how many of this, 7 enemies. I like the dramatic music that kicks in when you're fighting so many enemies at once. Makes it clear that you're in danger here, so you better watch out. Gonna have a couple of people attacking these goblins. Would now be a good time for Kai to do something? I wonder how useful her Thunder Tome is. You know what? I think we can do this without Kai. I guess she can use Shield, just in case something decides to attack her. Start things off with a punch, and then Elodie's Flame comes in. Her agility did increase previously, so she's pretty fast, and wow, not only fast, but quite capable. Elodie did almost all the work in that battle. Got an increase in both max HP and spirit for it. She deserves it for all the work she did there. Would have been nice. Maybe I should have considered actually telling Elodie to do nothing, just that the human characters would get a chance, but alright, let's see. These barrels look like I can interact with them because they're so brightly colored, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Just some environment. Can't like do anything with that panel either. I like the look of this location, very high-tech. It gives Ashura the otherworldly feel because you see all of this this sort of like cleaner yet more advanced location. It just looks a lot different than the places we've seen so far. Though to be fair, we've been in like a dingy cave and a dingy ruin. You wouldn't expect those places to look particularly elaborate, so I guess they're not the best way of identifying what this world looks like, but nonetheless, this is a very different location than we've seen before. Not so different as like going into the future in Chrono Trigger, but you know, it's a very different aesthetic nonetheless. 234 Kiro this time, 16 MP. How much Kiro does that bring us up to? Alright, so 4,700, not quite the 6,800 we need in order to obtain the items at that store in Northtown. Let's see if I can avoid this guy. Nope, not even close. Spirit increase for Elodie, HP increase for Zenith, and some Kiro. And we see that we're about to go up to the 3rd floor, but we're out of time for now, so that'll have to wait for next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you then.